Hello, good day. My name is Padilla John Michael Gabrielei C. And for this video, I will be discussing DSL families and broadband technologies. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, before we get into the different families of DSL, let us first define what is DSL. So, DSL stands for Digital Subscriber Line. So, DSL is a high-speed bandwidth connection, and it is acquired through a phone jack that can be found in the walls of your houses. So, what happens in DSL is that it uses your existing telephone line to connect you and your devices to the internet. So, inside telephone lines, there are actually thousands of frequencies. A telephone line carries thousands of frequencies. So, what happens is that in those thousands of frequencies, only a few of those frequencies are used when, let's say, taking or receiving a call, which leaves more frequencies, and those frequencies are the ones that are used in the DSL connection to connect the users to the internet. So, just like any other technological advancement, DSL also has its own pros and cons. So, the pros and cons of DSL is actually related to the effectivity of DSL in connecting the users to the internet, and it is also related to the speed it can give, the speed of the internet connection it can give to the users that actually subscribe to DSL. So, going on to the pros of this technology. So the first pro of this technology is that it is widely available. So the reason for that is because DSL connection depends on telephone lines, and as we all know, there are a lot of households that are currently subscribed to telephone plans, which gives a wide availability when it comes to DSL. So, the second pro of this technology is that it is cheaper than other options, especially when you compare it to broadband connections like modem connections, cable connections, and fiber and the like. So, it is actually a cheaper option. So, you get an internet connection for a cheaper price. And the last pro of this is that just like telephone lines, in DSL, there are dedicated circuits when it comes to each subscriber. So, why is this a pro? So, this is a pro because even if there is high demand, since there is a dedicated circuit for each subscriber, the connection speed will not decrease because of high demand. So, that is the reason why it is a pro for DSL. However, there are also cons when it comes to DSL. And the first con of DSL is that there are a lot of faster internet connections than DSL. So, if you are going to look at the price, so it is true that DSL is actually cheaper, but if you are going to look at the price difference between DSL and other faster internet connections, the price difference is actually not that big, which means that it is wiser to actually invest a bit more money in faster internet connections rather than investing in DSL. And the last con for this technology is that distance is a factor. So in DSL, we have what we call a central office. This is where the subscribers are connected in order to get access to the internet. However, since distance is a factor, the farther the subscriber from the central office, the slower the connection of the subscriber. So, now that we have a brief background when it comes to DSL, we already know what DSL really is, and we already know its pros and cons. So now we will proceed to the different DSL families. So for DSL families, these are actually types of DSL that emerged all throughout the years. So As you can see, these types of DSL are arranged according to year. So for the first one, which is HDSL, so HDSL stands for high bitrate DSL, so it can provide up to 1.5 Mbps, which is consist of 2 pairs of wires, and 2 Mbps, which consists of 3 pairs of wires. So it is said that HDSL has reduced the cost and installation time since it simplifies the line of engineering effort. So next is ADSL. It was used in the year 1995. So ADSL stands for asymmetric DSL. So from the name itself, asymmetric. So what happens in ADSL is that the download speed is actually um, not the same with the upload speed. So the common setup for this is that the download stream is much higher than the upload stream, hence the name asymmetric. And of course, next is the opposite of asymmetric, so that is known to be SDSL. So SDSL stands for symmetric DSL. So again, from the name itself, it's basically the opposite of ADSL, wherein the download speed and the upload speed of this connection is balanced. And lastly is VDSL, so was used in the year 2000. So it stands for very high bitrate DSL. So it's called very high bitrate DSL because it can support up to 52 Mbps asymmetric bitrate, which is significantly higher than the other types of DSL. So next up is broadband technologies. So broadband technologies, these are actually technologies regarding internet connections that is known to be much faster than DSL. So for broadband technologies, there are actually also a lot of types, and it is known to be a much faster option than DSL connections. So the first one for broadband technologies is cable modem. So cable modem is a broadband technology that uses the same technology as cable television. So here in cable modem, instead of a traditional LAN cable or a local area network cable, what you're going to see is a port wherein the cable needed is a coaxial cable, and a coaxial cable is what you can see at the back of a television or at the back of a um, sky cable box. So that is what provides the videos and pictures to televisions, and that technology is used in cable modem. So next is fiber. So this is one of the most famous types of broadband technology because it is known for its speed. So from the name itself, fiber uses fiber optics. So basically what happens here is that the electrical energy is converted into light, and that light is transmitted over a medium made of transparent glass fiber. So the speed of a fiber connection can reach up to hundreds of Mbps, which is why it is known for its speed. So for the next type of broadband technology, we have wireless broadband. So wireless broadband, again, from the name itself, is a broadband technology that does not use wires or long routed wires in order to access the internet. So for this type of broadband, it commonly uses an antenna, and because it is wireless, what happens is that the speed is almost the same as DSL connections, which is much slower compared to the better options like fiber and cable modem. And next we have satellite broadband. So satellite broadband is actually a broadband technology that it is also wireless, but it also uses these satellites that orbit around the Earth. So again, since it's wireless, the speed of this connection is actually slower, and a problem in this type of broadband technology is that Weather disturbances can also slow down the internet connection, which is why it is not that ideal. And lastly, we have broadband over power lines, or it is also known as BPL. So, as stated, it uses medium to low distribution lines, power distribution lines to provide connection, and the speed for this type of connection is almost the same as DSL and modem connections. So that will be all about DSL families and broadband technologies. I hope that you learned a lot of things watching this video. Thank you.